Hey everyone, Slambo here. It's time to play Where Have I Been? Well, I've been very busy the last 2 weeks, starting out with a shoot in Wisconsin Dells, one of the big places for vacationing around here. It's often called the water park capital of the world because there are so many water slides up there. A lot of Chicagoans and a lot of Minnesotans come over to have vacations there in the Dells, and I was photographing one of the big resorts there. I was photographing the Christmas Mountain Village for another client, and then after that I drove back home and I downloaded all my photos and started editing and uploading. And then the next day I had to run over to Vilas Park to do a little scouting for a video project that was coming up in a couple of days after that. Got that done and stopped at the St. Vinny's on the way over there, so I've got a few things to show here for Record Hall. But after that, after just scouting out the park, I had to drive back to Wisconsin Dells to photograph another hotel, this time the Blue Green Vacations Odyssey Hotel, which is right in the middle of the Mount Olympus campus. It's the second time I've been there, and it's also the second time I went to well, actually third or fourth time that I went to Christmas Mountain Village to photograph there for a client. But that took a couple of hours there, and then an hour to drive back to Madison to edit and upload that project. Then there was a whole bunch of meetings and a bunch of other things that I couldn't get out of last week. And then on Friday we had the video shoot in Vilas Park here in Madison. That took most of the day, and I've got some video to edit from that I'm hoping to get to later this week. My deadline on that is 2 weeks from the time of recording, so I've got about a week and a half left to edit and submit that to my client. Then after that, I had a shoot scheduled for the following morning all the way down in Freeport, Illinois, which is about 90 minutes almost directly south of me. We were going to do a food shoot at a restaurant there, and I had all my stuff ready, and I even had the stuff that I needed for the next appointment already in the van and ready to go, so I could just go from there to the next appointment. Got up early, I was just getting started with my day, and I get a text from the client. It's, "Our head chef just quit by text last night and we're not going to be able to do the shoot today." Oh, great. So, okay, I'm going back to bed then. Get a little bit more sleep before my next assignment, which was all the way over in Burlington. Technically in Burlington, Wisconsin. It was actually at a little place just outside, sort of halfway between there and East Troy, called Camp Dewan. I was doing a photo booth for a wedding reception out there from about 3 o'clock until I think I left there around 11 o'clock at night. But it was just down the road from another location that I know at least one other YouTuber here in the VC has been to several times and even worked there. I was just down the road from Alpine Valley. So shout out to JJ. Saw your old, at least the outside of your old workplace there. So after that wedding reception, I drove home, got home around 1 o'clock in the morning, and got just enough sleep for the next day. Had to drive all the way up to Escanaba, Michigan, up in the Upper Peninsula. I was photographing another hotel up there, but on Monday this time, rather than driving up immediately and starting shooting, because when we shoot these hotels, we normally start at 10 a.m. so that we can photograph the breakfast buffet. But they didn't have a breakfast buffet. But you know, still had to stick with the appointment that I had for photographing it. They did include an overnight stay for me there, so you know, I got a little bit out of it, and I didn't have to leave the house at 3 in the morning to get up there for a 4.5 to 5 hour drive to be there by 10, which was nice. Drove home from Escanaba on Monday afternoon, got home around 7 o'clock at night, and today was all downloading, sorting, and then uploading the projects or the files from that project. In the middle of all of that, I did get to, as I mentioned, I did get to stop at one of the St. Vinny's stores here in Madison, do at least a little bit of record shopping this week. The store that I went to didn't have records. It was another branch of the one that I like to go to that actually still has a bunch of 78s. So I like to go there, but you know, this other one is close to the house, and it was on the way to Vilas Park where I had the video shoot that I had to do for work. So I figure, okay, let's stop in and see what they've got. Well, one of the first things I found was a CD version of a record that I just got recently, Free to Be You and Me. This is the children's record, sort of a compilation of songs and stories by, or performed by Alan Alda, Harry Belafonte, Jack Brooks, Billy DeWolf, Bobby Morse, Shirley Jones, Carol Channing, Dick Cavett, Diana Ross, Tommy Smothers, and even Rosie Greer makes an appearance on here. So this is a mix of stories. There's a story and then a song related to that story. This is the same as what's on the record that I got recently from my local record store, and this is one of the records that I grew up with, so it was really nice listening to that. And I got to listen to all of these CDs on the drive up to Escanaba. With a 4-hour drive, I might as well bring the new CDs that I just got. Then I also found this copy of the Pete's Dragon soundtrack. This is the original Pete's Dragon movie from, what does it say on here? There, I did see a year on the back here. Let's see, the CD was 2002. There it is, 1976. It is a Walt Disney Pictures movie, but it's not a Disneyland Records CD, which is a little disappointing. But, you know, I got to listen to this one, and, you know, this is another one that had me smiling for the whole time that it was playing in the car as I drove. The third one that I got because I know the group from their original 1950s era recordings. I didn't see the new movie, but, you know, it was there for $1, so okay, can't go too wrong for $1. The Alvin and the Chipmunks reboot soundtrack CD. This was a big disappointment for a true Chipmunks fan. Now I'm glad I didn't see the movie after listening to this. They went heavy into the hip hop on this one. The only redeeming quality on this CD is the last 2 tracks, right there on the back. And of course it's not going to be in focus because I don't have autofocus on this camera. But anyway, tracks 15 and 16 are the original 1958 versions, and they're listed as bonus tracks on the CD. 1958 versions of The Witch Doctor and the Chipmunk song. So we've got the original recordings of those 2 songs after all of the movie songs on there, and it was nice to hear those at the end. So the CD kind of redeemed itself to have those 2 copies on there, but this is not one that I'm going to be listening to very much. I'm not a hip-hop fan, and the songs on here just did not sound good, and you know, there was too much auto-tune, too much of we're doing the squeaky voices just to do the squeaky voices, and not to do the whole feeling of the original 1958 recordings was just kind of lost on them. What saved the day for the CDs that I bought was Big Bad Voodoo Daddy, and this is their self-titled CD, the premiere CD. This is Modern Swing, and it used to be owned by a guy named Stadler, so so Stadler, I've got your CD now. I bought it for $1 over at St. Vinny's. This one is much more fun, and this is what I listen to a lot. So Big Bad Voodoo Daddy, their first CD, produced by Brad Benedict, Michael Frondelli, and Scotty Morris. Scotty is also the lead, the frontman of the band. This was released in 1998. So those were the 4 CDs that I got. And while I was there at St. Vinny's, I ran over to the electronics section because I need a new a small CD player for this room. You know, I've got a little boom box up here, but it doesn't have a CD capability, so I was looking for a small CD player. I found this DVD CD player, you know, you see the logos there, for $2.50. And they had a spot over near the electronics with a power strip so you could plug things in and see if they worked. I plugged this in, and it did turn on for me. So there's the red light, and, you know, I hear it going. And I just hit the open tray button just to make sure that the tray came out. And it did. And there's a bonus Finding Nemo DVD within it. So not only do I get the DVD CD player, you know, this is a pretty basic one. It's only got RCA plugs on the back. It's an Insignia model DVD player, model NSD160A14. So I don't expect a whole lot of big stuff out of this, especially since there's only 3 buttons on the front. But I got a copy of Finding Nemo, which I didn't already have. So now I've got another movie I can watch whenever I want to watch. So that's where I've been. That's my newest acquisitions. That's what I've got today. See you next time. Hopefully sooner than the break that we've had this last time.